All right, so have you ever, like, looked at a really complex machine and wondered how they got all those tiny parts to fit together perfectly?
Yeah.
Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of Precision Mechanics Supervisors. Those are the folks that make sure those intricate systems,
Right.
they come together without a hitch.
Yeah, and we're doing it with insights from RoleCatcher,
Yeah.
which sounds like it's your go-to for this whole career deep dive.
It is. It's got everything, like understanding the job itself to actually landing it.
Yeah.
But the thing that really got me is this whole blend of, like, really meticulous work with leadership.
Right.
RoleCatcher, they define the role as, like, you oversee the assembly of these really intricate machines, making sure all the tiny parts fit together perfectly.
Right.
But it's got to be more than just being a technical whiz, right?
No, absolutely.
No problem.
Yeah, imagine you're not just putting together like the gears of a fancy watch or something, but
Right.
you're actually leading the whole team that's responsible for creating it.
Right.
You need that deep understanding of mechanical engineering, but then you also have to be able to like inspire and guide your team
Yeah.
to meet these crazy, precise standards.
It's like you're conducting an orchestra, but instead of musicians,
Yeah.
it's this team of, like, really skilled technicians building something super complex.
Exactly. Yeah.
And that brings me to something I found really interesting in the RoleCatcher stuff.
Okay.
Social perceptiveness.
Right.
They really highlight that people element of the job.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're not just dealing with metal and circuits and stuff. You're
Right.
dealing with people. And RoleCatcher really emphasizes that
Yeah.
you've got to motivate your team, you've got to understand their strengths,
Uh-huh.
and really cultivate an environment where everyone is aiming for that, like, absolute precision.
Yeah.
It's more than just, like, not making mistakes. It's
Right.
about fostering this culture where even the tiniest error
Yeah.
is a chance to learn and grow.
I like that. Yeah.
Not just a failure.
Makes sense, because a team that's constantly learning and getting better
Right.
is going to make some really high quality stuff.
Exactly.
Now, while we're talking skills,
Yeah.
RoleCatcher gets really into the nitty-gritty of what you need to succeed
Uh-huh.
as a Precision Mechanics Supervisor.
Mm.
We're talking, like, management skills, critical thinking,
Yeah.
troubleshooting, but then also things like active listening coordination, stuff like that.
It's that combo of technical know-how
Right.
and these really sharp people skills that make this role so unique. You know, you
Yeah.
could be like analyzing a complex system 1 minute,
Right.
trying to figure out what's wrong with it.
Mhm.
And then the next minute, you're leading a team meeting,
Incredible.
brainstorming solutions. So you've got to be able to switch gears like that.
And listening's got to be huge, right?
Oh, huge.
Yeah.
You have to really hear your team's perspectives. You know, what are they worried about? So you can make those really important decisions.
Yeah, it's not like some kind of dictator.
No, never.
It's about getting everyone on board.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. It's a collaboration.
Yes.
Everyone's got to feel like they can contribute.
And speaking of contributing, something that stood out to me from RoleCatcher
Yeah.
was how much they emphasize automation and robotics.
Right. It's changing the game.
Yeah.
Think about it. When you're talking about like aerospace or medical devices,
Uh-huh.
those parts are tiny, sometimes even microscopic.
Yeah.
Automation, using robots to help with assembly, that's
No.
becoming so important.
So it's not just wrenches and microscopes anymore.
No, no.
You've got to know CAD software.
Yeah,
right?
that's becoming essential.
Designing stuff on computers.
Right.
Like traditional craftsmanship,
Yeah.
but with cutting-edge tech.
That's what makes this field so cool. You're connecting the physical and digital, and RoleCatcher actually talks about how that affects the work environment too.
Okay, so where are these Precision Mechanics Supervisors working?
Right.
Is it like a sterile lab, a busy factory, or something in between?
Well, from what I gathered, it really depends. You know,
Right.
one day you might be in a super high-tech plant
Uh-huh.
overseeing an automated line,
Right.
and the next day you could be in a research lab working on some new medical device prototype.
Talk about variety. That's got to keep things interesting.
Definitely.
But no matter where you are, it seems like you're interacting with a lot of different people.
Oh, for sure. That's actually something RoleCatcher calls out specifically.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
Typical interactions, they call it.
Okay.
You're leading your team, obviously,
Right.
but you're also coordinating with other supervisors, maybe even consulting with the engineers who design the thing.
Right, right.
Or you're working with quality control to troubleshoot issues.
So you're like the central hub.
That's a good way to put it, yeah.
Making sure all the pieces are working together.
You got to wear a lot of hats.
It's not just about being good at the mechanics.
No.
You've got to navigate that whole manufacturing world.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, so say someone wants to become a Precision Mechanics Supervisor.
Yeah.
Where do they even begin?
Well, RoleCatcher, they do a great job of laying out a roadmap
Okay.
for people who want to get into precision mechanics.
Okay.
And it often starts with, getting your hands dirty.
Okay, so not just hitting the books right away.
Not right away, no.
Okay.
Think more like internships, apprenticeships, anything that'll give you a feel for the actual work.
Uh-huh.
They even suggest personal projects, like
Really?
building your own,
Right.
intricate little model or mechanism. It's all about showing that passion.
I love that.
Yeah, that drive to create something really precise and functional.
So you got to walk the walk, not just talk the talk.
Exactly. But speaking of books,
Right.
what about the formal education part?
Yeah, what do you need to get your foot in the door?
Well, RoleCatcher lists a bunch of different degrees that can help you out.
Yeah.
Mechanical engineering, that's a classic choice.
Right.
But then you'll also see precision engineering, industrial technology, even mechatronics and robotics are popping up more and more.
It's like they're getting you ready for a world where mechanical and electrical and computer engineering, they're all kind of merging together.
It's all connected now.
Yeah, which makes sense with all this automation stuff we were talking about.
Right, exactly.
So, okay, you've got the hands-on skills.
Yep.
You've got the education.
Mm-hmm.
But some of the most important stuff, you don't learn in a classroom, right?
Oh, absolutely. And RoleCatcher gets this. They talk about those core abilities.
Okay.
Critical thinking, troubleshooting,
Right.
being able to look at a complex system and figure out what's wrong.
Right. Like a detective for machines.
Exactly. But then there's the softer skills, too, like active listening, coordination, being aware of what other people are doing.
Social perceptiveness.
Exactly. It's all connected.
So it's that mix of technical brilliance and just being a good team player.
That's what makes a good precision mechanics supervisor, yeah.
Okay, so what does that career path actually look like?
Okay.
Is it you start at the bottom and it's a straight shot to the top?
Well, RoleCatcher kind of paints a picture of how it usually goes.
Okay.
You might start as a technician,
Okay.
really getting to know the nuts and bolts of assembly and repair. And as you get more experience, you could become a specialist.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, maybe focusing on a specific type of machine or process.
So you could be the calibration expert for medical imaging equipment.
Exactly. Or maybe you're the micro-robot assembly guru for surgical stuff.
Wow, that level of specialization, that's got to be so valuable.
Oh, absolutely. And it usually comes with more responsibility, too.
Like what?
Training new hires, working with engineers on designs, even overseeing a whole production process for a specific part.
Okay, and then that eventually leads to those leadership roles.
Right. Supervising teams, managing bigger projects, that kind of thing.
So it's like climbing a ladder. Each step is a deeper dive into this world.
That's a good way to put it, yeah, with more responsibility each step of the way.
And probably a lot of problem solving.
Oh, for sure. You're always going to be challenged.
So how do you stay ahead of the curve in a field that's always changing?
Well, RoleCatcher talks about this. They say continuous learning is key.
Okay, so what? Reading industry magazines, going to conferences?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Maybe joining professional organizations.
So you got to keep your finger on the pulse of what's new.
Exactly. New technology, new materials. You got to keep up.
Sounds like the learning never really stops.
That's the exciting part. There's always something new to discover.
Okay, so let's say you've got the skills, you're passionate, you're ready for that Precision Mechanics Supervisor job.
Okay.
How does RoleCatcher help you actually find those jobs? Well, I'm guessing RoleCatcher wouldn't be RoleCatcher if they didn't give you some help with the job hunt.
Oh,
right?
for sure. They've got a ton of resources for that.
Okay.
And this is where you really see their practical side come through. They break it all down, like how to write a killer CV, how to rock those interviews.
Right, because those can be scary.
Oh, tell me about it.
But it's not just generic advice, right?
No, they tailor it specifically for the Precision Mechanics Supervisor role.
Oh, that's smart.
They give you sample interview questions.
Oh, wow. Give me an example.
Okay, so they might ask, describe your experience with precision machinery.
Okay.
Or how do you ensure safety in a precision mechanics setting?
Oh, that's good to know beforehand.
It's like getting a sneak peek inside the interviewer's head,
That's so valuable because let's be real. Sometimes your CV is getting scanned by a computer before a human even sees it, right?
Right.
So how do you make yours stand out, especially in a field this specialized?
That is the million-dollar question.
Yeah.
RoleCatcher really emphasizes tailoring your CV and cover letter
Okay.
to each specific job,
Right.
highlighting those skills and experiences that really match what they're looking for.
So you got to do your homework, basically.
Yeah, you got to know your audience.
Right.
And that's where the tech comes in again.
Right.
They have these AI tools that can actually analyze job descriptions.
Get out.
Yeah, and they'll suggest ways to improve your application.
Wow. It's like having like a robot career coach.
Right. Pretty cool.
That is wild, but I got to imagine, like, even with all this fancy tech, some things never change about getting a job right.
You're absolutely right. Some things are timeless.
What's the number one?
RoleCatcher, they talk about this a lot. Clear communication.
Okay, yeah.
Being adaptable, showing that you're really passionate about this kind of work.
It's about more than just, like, checking boxes.
Exactly. It's about showing who you are, what you care about.
Yeah, so you're not just like a robot yourself.
Exactly. You've got to let your personality shine through.
Okay, so we've talked about the skills, the career path, even how to land the job.
Yeah.
But let's talk about the elephant in the room, right?
Okay.
How much money can you make as a precision mechanics supervisor?
Right. Everyone wants to know.
Yeah, RoleCatcher, they don't give like hard numbers or anything.
Right. Because it varies so much.
Yeah, based on location, experience, all that.
But they do say good salary potential,
Okay.
which is a big plus in my book.
And when you think about it, automation's only getting bigger, right?
Oh, absolutely.
So people who can manage all that tech, they're going to be in demand.
For sure, those skills are going to be gold.
So if you're good at this stuff, you can be set.
No doubt about it.
It's a field that's only getting more important, right?
Definitely.
Advanced manufacturing, aerospace,
Yeah.
medical tech, all that.
It's the future.
So if you're someone who loves precision, enjoys a good challenge, you're not afraid of some hard work.
This could be an awesome career path.
Absolutely, both personally and financially.
It's not just about the money, though, right?
No, definitely not.
There's got to be something fulfilling about this kind of work.
Oh, absolutely.
Like, what's that feel like?
Imagine this. You see a complex machine, maybe it's a surgical robot or a piece of a spaceship,
Uh-huh.
and it's working perfectly because of your team, because of your leadership.
There's got to be a lot of pride in that.
It's incredibly rewarding seeing your work make a real difference in the world.
Yeah, there's got to be a certain magic to it, right?
Absolutely.
This blend of like technical skills and leadership, that attention to detail.
You're like an artist and an engineer all rolled into one.
Exactly. And you're creating something that actually works that's incredible. It really is. And that brings me to a final thought about all this, something that stuck with me from RoleCatcher.
Okay, I'm listening.
So yeah, the technical stuff is critical. Being a good leader is super important. But there's a certain mindset that's equally important for success in this field.
Okay, I like where this is going. Tell me more.
It's that commitment to precision, that, I don't know, almost obsessive desire to get every single detail exactly right.
It's got to be in your DNA a little bit.
It really does. You got to find beauty in the perfect alignment of gears.
Right.
That flawless fit of a tiny component.
It's about taking pride in your work.
Exactly, even when it's something most people will never even see.
It's that passion, that drive for doing your absolute best. That's what makes it more than just a job.
Exactly, it becomes a call.
And I think that's what RoleCatcher really gets across.
They do.
It's not just about learning some skills.
Right.
It's a whole way of thinking. That dedication to quality, that's got to be a part of everything you do.
It's in everything.
It's about, like, finding joy in the smallest details.
Yeah. Even if they are really, really small.
You're a leader, a mentor, a problem solver, a master craftsperson, all at the same time. That's amazing.
It's quite a combination.
So if you're out there and you feel that pull towards precision, you see the world in these tiny little details.
You get excited about the small stuff.
And you're ready to lead, to inspire others, to create something truly amazing. Maybe, just maybe, the world of precision mechanics is calling your name.
It very well could be. And if it is, remember, RoleCatcher, they've got your back. They'll give you the tools and the knowledge you need to make it happen.
It's a journey worth taking, that's for sure.
I think so.
Well, that's our deep dive into the world of precision mechanics supervisors.
The good one.
Always a pleasure chatting with you. Thanks for breaking it all down for us.
Anytime. Always happy to geek out about this stuff.